Recently, I went to the San Antonio Book Festival with my mom. I went last year. It was really fun. And again, this year, it was even better. They had some amazing authors there. I had such a good time. However, I only bought one book. I saved some of my birthday money for this event. I saved up for it so that I could splurge on books, and all the books that I wanted to buy were sold out. However, it was still a win. I got to see some amazing authors speak. I got to see Elise or Elise. I'm not sure how to pronounce her last name. She wrote Two Wrongs Make a Right, and I loved that book so much. I had such a fun time reading it. 4.75 stars for me. She was so well spoken, and I found some other authors that I really want to try out because they were so well spoken and so passionate about their book that it made me excited for their books. However, all of those books were sold out. So we're going to take that money that I saved for the San Antonio Book Festival and we're going to go to Barnes & Noble. I gotta scratch the itch. I've been trying to hold off. Like, I don't need more books, but like the itch needs to be scratched. So we're going to Barnes & Noble, and I thought I would bring you guys along with me. My face as I walk into Barnes & Noble. The colors are so pretty. Oh my gosh, this is so satisfying. I have the first book in this series and I'm really excited to read it soon. And this book, I just finished reading this and I loved it. 4.75 stars. I think I might need to get the physical copy. Absolutely love Nora Goes Off Script. We love books about books, and most of them are buy one get one half off, so these are definitely possibilities. I might have to get this because I haven't read this yet. I'm going to Ren Festival this weekend, so it would be kind of fun to read this. I don't own this yet, so maybe it's time for me to get my own copy. I loved Red, White, and Royal Blue, like another 4.75 stars for me. It might also be time to try this book out. I've heard such great things. They finally have Call Me By Your Name. I feel like I've looked for this book for so long. I might have to get this too. So I really want to read this series, but they just came out with new covers, so I want to wait for the new covers to come out. I've also heard about this series, and I'm trying to decide if I want to read them or not. Should I finally start the Shatter Me series? Let me know in the comments. This should definitely not be in the YA section. I really want to read this book. It's stunning, but I want it in paperback. I've been thinking about this book a lot, so I think I'm gonna have to give it a try soon. This book has been everywhere lately. Damage, y'all. And got a tea. Hey again, everyone. Last night I got home pretty late from work and from book shopping, so I decided to do a haul today. I got a lot of books, but I stayed within my budget. I got a really good deal, so let's get started. This is in no particular order, it's just however it was placed in my bag. First, we have All My Rage by Sabata here. It looks like this is a multi-generational story, starting with our characters Mishba and Tofik, who start off the journey in an arranged marriage, and then tragedy strikes and they move to the United States and open up a hotel or a motel. It shows them growing up, being considered outcasts, not quite American enough, turning to each other to understand each other and show each other love when they aren't getting it outside of their family, and then their children later in life. I really like this tagline: All My Rage is a love story, a tragedy, and an infectious teenage fever dream about what home means when you feel like you don't fit in. I follow Sabah on Instagram, and she said this is a story that took her 12 years to write. And I was just astounded and in awe by that. I think that's amazing, and I think she deserves all the hype, so I'm very excited to read this. Then we have Call Me By Your Name by Andrew Asiman. I have wanted to read this story for a really long time, but I have had such a struggle finding this book. Originally, I was looking in secondhand bookstores and I could not find it anywhere. Then I was like, okay, I'll buy it at Barnes & Noble. Then it was sold out, so I was really thrilled to see this, especially on the buy one get one 50% off. I think this book is a little bit controversial, not because of the two main characters, but because of the age gap between the two main characters. Call Me By Your Name is the story of a sudden and powerful romance that blossoms between an adolescent boy and a summer guest at his parents' cliffside mansion. Each is unprepared for the consequences of their attraction. I am ready to give it a try. This doesn't have the sticker, but this was also buy one get one 50% off. I feel a fantasy era coming on. I was going to just wait until I got it on Kindle Unlimited, but there have been some controversial things going on with Kindle Unlimited, mostly with how much authors are getting per page read, and it's really, really low right now. If I can support the authors this way, then I want to try and do that. Dance of Thieves is a young adult fantasy novel by Mary E. Pearson, a formidable outlaw family that claims to be the first among nations. A son destined to lead thrust suddenly into power. Three fierce young women of the Ratan, the Queen's premier guard. Ooh, we love a female guard. A legendary street thief leading a mission determined to prove herself. A dark secret that is a threat to the entire continent. I've heard really great things. I know that Haley fam loves this book. I've seen other booktubers and bookstagrammers recommending this book. I'm ready to give it a read. Also, it's a duology, and I am obsessed with duologies. I think they are the perfect length for a series. Two of them, they're great. Then we have The Kiss Quotient by Helen Hong. Recently, I did a video where I talked about all of the series that I'm currently in the middle of. You can check it out here if you want to. And this is one of the series that I'm currently in the middle of that I would like to continue. And The Kiss Quotient is the only book in the series that I haven't read yet, which is ironic because it's the first book in the series. But I think that really shows how talented Helen Hong is and how well she wrote these books, because I did not feel like I was missing anything from those other two books. I didn't feel confused in any way, shape, or form, so I just think that shows she wrote a really good series and laid a good foundation. This looks so cute. I don't know why I waited so long to read this. This follows Stella, who looks like she's a statistician. She creates algorithms to predict customer purchases, probably on some sort of marketing team. However, she does not have a lot of experience outside of work and outside of creating these algorithms, and she's being encouraged to date again. But she has Asperger's and thinks that kissing is disgusting and, quote, reminds her of a shark getting its teeth cleaned by pilot fish. I love that so much. So she hires an escort, Michael Fan, who apparently looks like a K-drama star we love, and he kind of gives her lessons and teaches her how to get used to those intimacies. And of course, it's a romance book, so things start building, little seeds start to sprout, and she kind of ends up wanting more than she realized she wanted. We have Float Plan. I have heard a lot about this series. I've seen great things and great reviews about this book. I have wanted to read this for a while. It just kind of kept getting put on the back burner, but now that summer is probably right around the corner, I thought it would be fun to get some summery reads. I hear that this book is a romance with discussion of some deeper topics. My favorite kind of romance books are ones that have their light and fluffy moments but also dive deeper into a topic. Like this one, I guess, is going to go hopefully a little more into what it's like for someone to have Asperger's and how that affects their life. I'm really enjoying romances like that. This one deals a lot with grief. Since the loss of her fiance, Anna has been shipwrecked by grief. something happens that reminds her of a sailing trip that her and her husband were going to go on, so Anna decides to go by herself. But after the first night, something kind of shook her up, so she realized she couldn't do it alone and hires a guide, a professional sailor. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Kane. She hires him, and he is having his own sort of struggles too, but they're both on this sailboat together. They discovered that it's never too late to chart a new course in life. Then we have The Sea of Tranquility. I actually have already read this book. I borrowed it from my library on Libby. I gave this a 4.75 stars. This book has not left my mind since I finished reading it 3 or so weeks ago. It was so good. This book is set in 3 or 4 different time periods. It has multiple points of view. People live on the moon in the future and people live on Earth. So it's following different people from different spots. This scientist at the Time Institute in the future notices an anomaly. Something weird happens to all of these characters that we focus on. They go to this clearing. They see this tree and then things glitch. It goes black and they hear the sound of a spaceship taking off and a violin. This scientist's brother trains and goes to interview these characters and figure out what happened to them. What is this anomaly? Where did it come from? What does it mean for the future? And it is so fascinating. The way that Emily St. John Mandel gave us the clues, the way that they were laid out, it was really spread out, but in a way that kept me so intrigued. The whole time I was just so ready to find the next thing and just like eat it up. I really enjoyed it. The ending was great. I just know that I'm going to gush about this book probably for the rest of the year. I'm guessing that this is going to be one of my top reads of the year, I think. So I thought it would be great to have a physical copy, and then maybe I could go through and also annotate the things that I highlighted in the Kindle app. Yeah, I was very excited to get this in my hands. Y'all, I have been looking for this book for so long. Everywhere I go, they have the second or the third or the fourth book, but not the first. And I finally found it. This series, A Never After novel by Emily McIntyre, is a twist on classic fairy tales. Instead of the heroes being the main characters, it's the villains. This one follows, I guess, is like a twist on Captain Hook from Peter Pan. They're dark, they're spicy. I love that idea. I've seen a lot of really great things about them. Again, I had wanted to wait to read them on Kindle Unlimited, but with things going as they're going, I know that this is a way that I can support the author. And who knows, maybe I'll love the series and get all of them. This was a last minute decision. Electric Kingdom by David Arnold. You can see it's the space suit with a reflection of the girl and her dog. It was published in 2021, so I wonder if it's a pandemic book, because when a deadly flu sweeps the globe, it leaves a shell of the world that once was. Among the survivors are 18-year-old Nico and her dog on a voyage devised by Nico's father to find a mythical portal. There's also a young artist named Kit, an enigmatic deliverer who lives life after life in an attempt to put the world back together, and a swarm of insect flies roam the earth. These few survivors meet along the way, each on their own quest to find life and love in a world gone dark. I don't know. I feel like this wouldn't normally be what I reached for. I think that I'm in my post-romance era. Not that I won't be reading romance. I love reading romance, but I think I'm in my era where I don't read romance after romance after romance. I think I sprinkle them in with other books. I'm really intrigued by this and interested to give it a shot. Last book, y'all. This has been on my TBR for a really long time. Misery by Stephen King. I can never find it in any resale shops. I have scoured the resale shops. I have scoured the oh my god. I have scoured secondhand bookshops for this book, and I never find it. And to me, that's a really good sign, because that means that people love it and want to keep it. Misery by Stephen King is a thriller that follows an author that gets kidnapped by his #1 fan. Which is kind of scary, because I want to become an author. But I think all of us who like books and are thinking of becoming authors are also intrigued by this in probably a dark way. But I think what really kicked it off for me is Haley Pham read this book recently and raved about it. I really enjoy Haley Pham's channel and her thoughts about books that she reads. That kind of spurred me on to finally just give in and get it. Am I in my thriller era too? I don't know. What started as me not being able to buy books at a book festival that I saved money for ended up being a book shopping spree at Barnes & Noble with the money I saved for it. So, there we go. What an eclectic collection. Sci-fi, thriller, young adult sci-fi, dark romance, contemporary romance, YA, fantasy, queer romance, young adult literary, multi-generational. Okay friends, thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed my little come and shop at Barnes & Noble with me and my little mini haul. I hope y'all are having a wonderful day, week, month, year, whenever and however you're watching this. Sending you all the good vibes. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.